What's up, everybody? It's your boy Oog, and today I'm doing something a bit different. Today I'm going to be looking at the DragonBall AF story, purely because I don't know much about it. I know some other people don't know much about it, and it'd probably be nice to, know more about it, seeing I'm playing a very modded game that has a lot of their characters within it. So I'm hoping this video does a good job of explaining the general ideas, the story, and how Super Saiyan 5 came about, and the Mystic, because I don't understand the Mystic. I knew about Super Saiyan 5, but Mystic? No. Never saw that before. You know what? Let's get into this.
I covered the story of Dragon Ball GT, both
So GT,
and the end of GT,
I don't know. I love Super Saiyan 4, but I never really got into GT in general, I'd have to say.
I can speak for a lot of people when I say that we wanted more Dragon Ball. When I found very interesting,
When I was younger, I always wanted more Dragon Ball.
Was ending in Japan, but in other
parts it always felt empty if there wasn't Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball was just starting to be a hot thing in the United States. In Latin America, had been cooking for quite some time, and as a result of the popularity and the expansion of Dragon Ball internationally, new fans were being made all throughout the 90s when the show was already over in Japan. But even by the mid-2000s,
I feel like there was a constant hit of Dragon Ball just going through at a certain period of time.
And as a result of that, we got
and then it's I feel like it died out also, and then came back out of nowhere.
Around about a new Dragon Ball series forever. This went on for a decade with tons of fake stories and hoaxes about new Dragon Ball coming until finally in 2015 we did get a new Dragon Ball TV show.
Oh yeah, Super.
Dragon Ball Super. But to me,
I'd be confused that they're talking about in 2015. It's no, I heard about Super Saiyan 5 before that.
The most interesting story and actually ties into Dragon Ball Super.
Wait, it actually ties into Super?
Dragon Ball AF.
Oh, there's Gohan and Psych or whatever he is.
Stretches far beyond it just being a hoax and into a story that I find fascinating, and thus it is the topic for this edition of Dragon Ball in Depth.
Wow.
この放送はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。
People lying in the Dragon Ball fandom is nothing new. In fact, I've kind of made a career out of debunking these lies.
A lot of lies.
And hoaxes existed in this fandom.
But that's really in any series. You get thousands upon thousands of lies, like new forms and any other shit. Just hoping for the best.
Because, well, human beings are sick like
that. Everyone just hopes for something really cool, so someone gives them a cool idea. It's gonna happen. I mean, people get happy for it. They hope for it.
And the story of AF is kind of like that, but I like to
chalk it up to
being more of a mistake, more of a mistranslation, and then people just corroborating it and expounding upon it versus somebody maliciously trying to screw with people. But with that said, the part of the AF story that I find so interesting is that it started off as a hoax, and then fans gravitated towards it thinking it was real, but a couple of fans
interesting lineup right here. Got some Oob, Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, and a 5 Gohan. Then I really don't know who this is supposed to be. This is like a buffed out Frieza or what? I know I've seen him in game, but he doesn't have Frieza's name, so I don't know what that's supposed to actually be.
Which confused other fans because it looked so
the same real. 3 Trunks looks
where
pretty
one
sick.
Of these fans actually wound up working on Dragon Ball, specifically Dragon Ball Super, and becoming a big shot in the Dragon Ball stratosphere. But let's go back and briefly look at the original hoax and where the Dragon Ball AF story began.
I just spoke with Lord Vader.
You spoke to him yourself.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm curious at how this got started. Because it spread like wildfire, I feel like.
So we're going to run through this pretty quickly because I have covered this briefly.
Yeah, this is Goku.
This entire AF hoax began.
Makes sense, it's after GT, so he would still. If I had the adult form, it would make sense.
For such a long time and fooled so many people.
Super Saiyan 5.
What was referred to at the time in the late 90s as Super Saiyan 5 Goku. And people on the web claimed to have authentic sources in Japan that had episodes and things like that of a series that didn't even exist called
His
Dragon
hair
Ball
is just
AF.
wild.
But when you mix that with somewhat convincing fan art and people who have no connections in Japan, then you could see why folks were fooled. To the point where Kanzenshu even did an April Fool's prank one year where they claimed to have footage of AF, get it? April Fool's AF, but it wound up being just a prank,
It's
bro.
like evil
At
Trunks
the
in
time,
that.
Kanzenshu was called Daizenshu EX, and they knew it wasn't real, but they wanted to screw with you on April Fools. So what is the real story behind that supposed Super Saiyan 5 Goku or whatever?
Can you get into
It
the
was
story,
revealed
man?
years later that the picture didn't even come from Japan. The image actually
makes
came
sense.
from a magazine, a video game magazine in Spain called Hobby Consolas. And it was just fan art that was submitted to the magazine by a man named Daniel Montel Franco.
I was about to
And
say,
Mr.
did the
Franco
magazine
would write
make it
Dragon
itself?
Ball
That'd be
AF
wild if they
in the
did.
lower right
It makes
corner
sense
of
if
the
it's fan
picture,
art.
and thus people on the internet took that as it standing for Dragon Ball After Future, a new series to happen after GT featuring Goku ascending into godhood. That's right. They had a god form for Goku before Toriyama even thought of it. This fake rumor
Is 5
was
supposed to
so
be his
big
god form?
that
Or
Funimation themselves had to address
confused?
it at panels, at conventions, debunking its existence. That's crazy. That is crazy. The funny part is the picture isn't even Goku. It's a character known as Tablos. And if you're wondering whatever happened to this guy, well, he's still on the internet. On Instagram, on Twitter, Tablos AF is still putting out fan art, is still putting out fan
we haven't seen
manga after
Tablos,
taking a long
right?
hiatus, and still developing his Dragon Ball AF fan fiction. He is the OG creator of Dragon Ball AF. But
interesting.
he would not be the only one. Let's discuss.
Everyone has their
Dragon
own
Ball
AF, it
AF's
looks like.
tie-in
Maybe.
to Dragon Ball Super,
That might be it.
and how Dragon Ball AF helped springboard the career of a very important person, a very important creator for this franchise. Let's talk about Dojinshi. Dojinshi literally translates to self-published book, otherwise known as, well, fan fiction, which is a big thing in Japan.
That'd be
Fans of certain
AF.
franchises create their own manga and actually put it out there. And some companies are okay with it, other companies are not. And as a result of Dragon Ball being over for so many years, and so many Dragon Ball fans wanting more Dragon Ball, they figured, well, let's just make our own. And Dragon Ball AF was the launching pad, the inspiration for a lot of these artists.
It's amazing that AF didn't get like in trouble just from making stuff like that, or like people that were trying to get into AF. Because many other companies get mad when their stuff gets touched, but not the creators of Dragon Ball. They let it go, and AF actually was able to exist, unlike other companies that like sue the shit out of people, like Nintendo. You touch any of their shit, you're getting sued.
That's more for a separate series down the road, but the reason why we have to talk about this is because it has a huge impact on the future of Dragon Ball in a very weird way. So I'll be honest, I don't know how many Dragon Ball.
I don't know how
AF
all
mangas
these characters
there are,
like
because if I were to
get
scour the
intertwined.
internet,
To
I
be
could probably
honest,
find tons and tons of them. But the two
but
that
now
are really
seeing this video,
well-known
it might be
are two artists. One of them is
problematic.
Dojinshi, who still draws tons of stuff.
There's
Twitter,
probably a shit ton
all
of
over the
these
web.
different
Very,
AF
very
mangas.
talented artist. He did his own version of Dragon Ball AF.
Yep.
And the other one is
Yeah,
from
so
a
there's a
man
lot of
by the name
AFs.
Toyble.
Who knows
So
what AF they're
sometime
using in
the
my game,
mid
if
to
there's a
late
mix of them.
2000s, this guy Toyble starts uploading random fan manga to his blog on a website called Live Door. This fan manga would be Dragon Ball AF. His version.
So I'll
of the
put
story
a link down to this video in the description if any of you guys want to watch it yourselves.
After the end of Dragon Ball GT. Now, some people took that fan manga and put it out there as being legitimately from Toriyama because the dude was a pretty good artist even back then. So a bunch of people believed
Actually,
this fan
if
manga
these are
to
the
be
fan
official
manga, it's
work,
actually really
but
good.
really
Oh, it
wasn't,
is.
but it looked
Damn.
pretty damn authentic.
Yeah,
And
that's
it just
really
became
good.
This big thing where fans were adding their own storylines, and there was this big synergy at the time, and not just in Japan, about Dragon Ball AF. So
I think
this
I
guy
actually have to
Toyble
probably watch
drawn
more
this
clips on
Dragon
this
Ball
just to
AF
know more
manga
about the
doing this stuff for
characters.
fun,
Because this isn't
and
really
all of a
focusing on the
sudden,
characters, just the
Shueisha,
history of
the
it.
official company in
Which
Japan,
makes sense, but
hires a
I
dude
was hoping to get
named
more.
Toyotaro. Now, the
It also is
worst-kept
cool that a guy
secret
got
at
hired
the
out
time
of
was that
making this.
Toyotaro and Toy.
Okay, so I'm cutting out a decent part of the end of this video, but that's purely because he ended up talking about a guy that was making one of the like AF mangas. But he basically just focuses on how the guy that was making them was able to make it into the actual like creation of Dragon Ball Super and all the other like mainstream mangas. He basically just went on a little, I don't know. I can't word it. The word's not coming to my head right now, but he just been on a rampage with that. But from what I get from him is basically AF is just a horde of different people's mangas put together. But I'm also not getting the information I really want now that I think about it. I really wanted to learn more about, I guess, the characters and how they came about, maybe? I don't know what I want to know. I just know I'm not satisfied with this video. I'm just going to leave this video at that and see how you guys feel about it. So I'll see you next time. Make sure to like and subscribe. And I already said I'll see you next time. This is a pain. I'm gonna cut off the end of this video because it's made. I'm gonna cut off the end of this video because actually, I'm gonna cut off the end of this video for the most part because he just really went on a tangent of talking about how one of the creators of the AF manga ended up actually getting put on like the Dragon Ball Super and like Resurrection of F, like the main mangas and shit. And he created a lot of like the gods of destruction and stuff like that, which is really cool that someone that made one of the AF mangas was able to get into that point. But at the same time, it's like, it's supposed to be the story of Dragon Ball AF. I don't really need to know that, you know? I really didn't get what I wanted from this video, to be honest. I wanted to know more about just like the characters of AF or even the story, because it says the story of AF. This is more of like how AF came to be partly, but I guess you can interpret the story of AF as being that, but I wanted more of what actually is happening in the AF like timeline. But since I guess there's so many different mangas on it, they all could have their own different stories using the same characters. But maybe I'll try to find a video on one of those next time. But thank you very much for watching. Make sure to leave us a like and subscription. I'll see you next time.